Hello and welcome back here to Talk FCB, and welcome to a brand new video here in midweek. We haven't got a game midweek. It's been the first time in a while actually we haven't been in action. The next game is on Saturday evening against Malaga. We'll have lots of things coming up for that game on the channel in the next few days or so. But right now what I want to talk about is Neymar, and the reason I'm doing this video is because over the last few weeks we've been without Neymar. Of course, he's been out with the illness that he's had the last few weeks. And I think we've really missed him, and I think now you sort of come to appreciate, of course we appreciated Neymar anyway, but certainly now even more so, the fact that he's been out, the fact that we've had to go through games and difficult matches without him. We've lost to Athletic, we lost the Super Cup without him, and it's very evident now how important he is to this team. We knew he was anyway, but in the certain ways that he is, it's really vital that he kicks on this season, and I just want to prove to you guys, just want to show you guys how much he is having an influence and how that is growing every single season. So I'm going to take you back to when he first joined Barcelona from Santos, and that was a massive thing in itself. He joined under a big cloud of controversy, and that's one thing you cannot fail to underestimate about Neymar's progress. He came to the club under controversy. There was a lot of thing about his transfer fee to start with, then there was the tax issue, and throughout his Barcelona career there's always been things surrounding him, surrounding the transfer, surrounding his father, surrounding his family, and there's always been things trying to drag him down, but every single time he's made sure that he's risen above it, and he's never ever let that affect him. And I think that certainly shows one thing that doesn't actually get mentioned that much about Neymar, and that is his mental strength. This is a boy who came up through Brazil, worked very hard, came in the Brazilian Serie A, made his name there, appeared for the national team very young, and since then he has grown not only into a fantastic player but also into a man. He's come to Barcelona, he's played next to Lionel Messi, he's led by example for Brazil, becoming their captain, and what he is starting to do now is mature as a person. We have not seen him die very often last season. That's one thing that people do not again give enough credit for. He came from Brazil, where diving over there is very much the norm. He came over to La Liga, where it's not so much so, and he's tried to cut it out of his game. He's learned from Messi, he's learned from those around him, he's led by example again, and what he's made sure that he's done, he keeps improving himself, and that's what you have to do as a young player. When you come to a big club, you can't have that ego, you can't have that narrow-mindedness, you've got to be open to learning, and I think that is what Neymar really does deserve credit for. The fact that he has taken on board so much since he's got here, the fact that he has improved his game and really developed his game to give himself a new dimension, and that is what's going to prove so key in the next few years. He continues to grow as a player, and he really does begin to grow into a star. And there's a lot of people, when he came to Barca, there was a lot of people with a lot of expectation, and in his first season he was injured a bit, but largely underwhelming. You know, he got that goal in the Clásico, that was a high point, but other than that, there was games where he wasn't quite at it. You know, he got injured a lot, he didn't quite have that link up with Lionel Messi, and everyone was wondering, is it going to work out? And then last season, he really took the bull by the horns and was absolutely sensational during our treble season. And there was one significant thing that happened last season, and that was the spell that he went through. I think it was just after Christmas. It sort of coincided with the bumpy period we had under Luis Enrique and the team selection and Lionel Messi, etc. And it was a part when Neymar went through where he became particularly greedy in front of goal, and also was starting to miss plenty of very good chances. And it was a period just after Christmas where he started doing this thing. He would get in front of goal and he would be very narrow-minded. He would go for goal no matter who was on, no matter what the options were. And a lot of the time in front of goal, he looked nervous, he looked like he wouldn't score, and he didn't have that much confidence in him. And he came through that, and that is such a key moment from last season. That was just before we started to hit the really big games. That was before the big Champions League came along. That was before the big games against Real Madrid came along. Neymar then came through that dry spell. He matured, he got his head straight, he got his attitude right, he picked himself back up, and with the help of those around him as well, he was outstanding during the last few months of the season, and by far one of our most influential players. You look at the last 16 of the Champions League, you look at the last quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then the finals, to score in every one of those games from the quarterfinals. That is incredible. That is what you call a big game player, and certainly in front of goal now, he is becoming more and more clinical every single game, and that is very interesting, because suddenly things are starting to go through Neymar. It's not all about Messi, it's not all about Suarez. Neymar is making sure that he has his own input in proceedings, and that is why throughout the last few games we have looked lost without Neymar. And certainly because Neymar and Alba together are a real force down that left-hand side, and when they were both absent against Athletic, we were absolutely dead down that left-hand side. There was no movement, there was no flair, there was no energy down that left-hand side. We were dead. So without those two, there is nothing down that left-hand side. But what Neymar gives us is unpredictability, and when he got here, first of all, unpredictability was a very, very bad thing because he could be great in a game or he could be terrible. Right now, though, what he gives us is a load of dimensions. He can run in behind, and that is what we really, really miss. Neymar running in behind, making the space for Luis Suarez, and also giving the option for Lionel Messi to play those exquisite passes across field that he likes to do. There's a few times in the last few games, Lionel Messi has looked over to that left-hand side, wanted to make a pinpoint pass, but no one is there making the run. Luckily, Jordi Alba on Saturday did make that run for Rakitic, but usually it's Iniesta looking for Neymar. He's the man who's making those runs in behind. And then there's the times where Neymar wants to drop off, he wants to come into that number 10 role, wants to pick up the ball, wants to run with it. And he's doing things as well that Lionel Messi has done himself many, many times. And that's what you get from learning from Messi. You don't only learn how to conduct yourself on and off the pitch, you also learn the characteristics on the pitch. And I see a lot of people saying Neymar will become the new Messi. That is not correct. Neymar will never become the new Messi because they're two completely different players. He is not Messi and Messi is not Neymar. They are two players which together are linked perfectly. They've got an understanding that is outstanding, and they are really two players who understand each other's games, and through every single game they are still improving because there are still moments where they can connect better, where they can understand each other's runs better, but every single game you see them linking up well, you see their friendship off the pitch, you see their determination on the pitch to make the team win, and together with Messi, Suarez and Neymar, we have got the best strike force in Europe. We may well have the best strike force the world has ever seen, but what we've got in Neymar, who's someone who gives us that bit of unpredictability. He can do things which will impact others. He can make that space, he can make that run, and most importantly now, he can finish off the moves. A lot of people call him the tap-in master. I've heard so many times. That is ridiculous. There is nothing lucky about the goals that he scores from close range. It's about positioning, it's about making those runs, and it's about understanding where Lionel Messi is going to put that ball, because we know with Messi, if you want it in that position, it's going to get there, and Neymar understands that. He can make those runs, and he is so good now at finishing off those moves and making sure that he's in the right position at the right time. So I think he deserves massive credit because he's adapted his game. He's become a player who can play down the middle, he can play from the left, play from the right, he can drop into the number 10 position, and he's become a player who can structure his game around the game and the definition that's needed. He's been able to adapt himself to the situation. Against Atletico Madrid, if he wants to make himself a bit more physical, he can do. If he wants to hold on to the ball longer, he can do. Against the more teams who are willing to park the bus, he can use his dribbling ability, he can use his close control, his skills on the ball. And another thing as well, it's the way he is on the pitch, and it's the way he is surrounding players. It's the way he enjoys the game, and that's what you get from Brazilian football. You had it with Ronaldinho, you got it with Dani Alves. You've got a player there who loves to play, and that is what is beautiful about this. He loves to play, he loves being at Barca, and the one thing I will say before I end this video is the Manchester United rumours are absolute rubbish. That will not happen. That is the British press trying to put a spin on things, whether it's for Man United's benefit, whether it's for Neymar's benefit, we don't know. Whether it's anti-United, it doesn't matter. Neymar is not going to Man United. Neymar is not leaving Barcelona. He has come a hell of a long way at this club. He is learning from the very, very best in the business, and he is improving to become the player that he will ultimately become, and that is the best player in the world one day that he has aspirations to be, and I truly believe that he will get there in time, and he is certainly on the right path at Barca. So he will not be going anywhere. Don't worry about that. Neymar is improving, and he should be back on Saturday, and that'll be huge for us because he is such a massive player now, and I'm expecting another big season from him. So leave your thoughts down below, guys, on Neymar, and I'm very interested to hear what you got to say, because the last few games I've really noticed it even more clearly that we do really miss him, and that he is so influential in our team and to our system. So leave those thoughts down below. Leave this video a like if you did enjoy it. I will see you very, very soon indeed for more build up towards that Malaga game. Looking forward to it, and I'll see you very, very soon. Visca El Barça.